Traders, what's going on, guys? Cleveland here. It's time for another Monday market breakdown. I got a special guest. What's up, bro?
Jesus Nunez here. For those of you who don't know me, I've been part of Motive for about 2 years now. Known this guy for about more than 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's been a pleasure to be alongside with him right now here at ATL. Beautiful weather, beautiful person, and just living life right now.
Yeah, man. So Jesus has been trading with me, I guess, since 2015, and we've seen a lot of different market conditions, and you have to acclimate, right? I mean, you don't want to change your strategy too much, but in terms of when market conditions shift, I talked about this in buy versus price webinar. When those market condition shifts, tactically you're gonna have to change things up. So as of right now, we're seeing a lot of our mean divergence plays, but we were playing 2016. We're doing a lot of breakouts. I mean, how's the market conditions in terms of the shift? How's your business been affected? Have you been able to acclimate pretty quickly? You actually have. I know that question. Answer that question.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like back then it was more about breakouts and like flag patterns,
Yeah.
and you don't see that much about that opportunity nowadays. It's more about mean divergence, as he spoke about. And I love the 23.6 break. For those of you who don't know it, please check it out. And it's working out pretty effectively right now.
Yeah, and so, I mean, only time you don't really see that 23 break working out is when there's underlying sentiment, like on the euro right now, right? So the euro is gapped, then we consolidated, then we gapped, then we consolidated, and we just broke out again last week. So last week you heard me say, man, if we get some US weakness, we get a nice little pullback. It never came to fruition. We had Draghi talk about on Tuesday how he wants to start lowering the stimulus. So, again, as of right now, I guess there is a shift that is going on. We are getting some runs in the market, and it seems as if we're probably gonna have to acclimate again. Your journey overall, though, bro, over the past 2 years, what's it been like?
Wow, it's been really up and down. Really up and down in the beginning of 2015. I was more of an aggressive trader, and I felt like that shouldn't have been the route because I failed a lot of times. And over the journey, I have learned a lot of different strategies, and I've stick to one right now, and I'm really focused on being the best trader that I can possibly be. And it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess at first, in terms of risk adversity, you don't even have an idea what that even means. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of just throwing things into the, throwing shit to the wind and kind of hoping that something's gonna stick, but that's not how things really roll.
Yeah, and in this market, you can't do that, because if not, you'll see yourself in 2 blown accounts like I've had in the past.
Yeah.
And we don't want that nowadays. You got to be more of a money manager as opposed to a trader.
Yeah. But like, dude, what are we looking at this week, bro? I have 4 plays I want to check out. You have 3?
I have 3 pairs. We agreed on 2 pairs: the Euro USD, the GBP USD.
Yeah.
And one of my intriguing pairs of the week will be NZD USD, as well as his, which is USD CAD.
Yeah. So CAD, I already got my buy order on CAD. It's pending, my buy stop. So we're looking for an up move on that. We saw CAD rip sell side, but we saw everything US cross rip sell side. We're just really getting a disagreement right now between the dollar and the Fed. You know what I'm saying? Fed, we've had 2 interest rate hikes. We're almost on schedule, right? In terms of where we were thinking we would be interest rate wise in December, but for some reason we're seeing no weakness. We're seeing no strength in the US dollar side. It's amazing, So it's really about just kind of figuring out exactly, okay, what economically or geopolitically is affecting this US dollar push, and then I guess we can, we can short it back in once we see it's there. But until then, we either go to the buy side, I guess play the long game, or just stay out of the move. So for this US CAD, we want to see it back up in those highs. You're looking at that GBP as well. What do you like on the GBP?
GBP, I see it for a sell side. Last week it pushed really high, back into the highs. There was a lot of liquidity there, so I suppose that it may come back down, either for more potential gains up or even back down. It depends on the fundamentals that we have this upcoming week. We have PMI for the Euro, the GBP, we got NFP coming on. So let's see how this week rolls out. I mean, the structure is there, the technical analysis is there. Now we just got to roll with the fundamentals.
Yeah, so what was I going to say? There was something about that GBP. So yeah, last week we actually had to buy on the GBP. So last week we had the Aussie NZD buy, we had the GBP buy, and I wanted to get a rip sell side on the Euro. Euro didn't work out, but Aussie, you played that Aussie. That was Jesus' trade, actually.
Aussie NZD came really effective. I wanted to confirm with him. We had 2 23.6 break on the shorter time frame and a 23.6 break that potentially may break out also on the bigger time frame. So it's looking good for that pair as well.
Yeah. So we're already back up in those highs. So we just got to figure out if we're going to stay in that range or if we're going to potentially break out. But GBP worked out real well. So we're going to go into the charts. We're going to get some actual precision here in terms of where we are technically. And Jesus is going to hop in on one of those, or two or three, maybe even the whole thing. I don't know. And we'll see exactly, what we're looking at. So let's pull over into the charts and see what we got this week. All right, sweet. So we're about to pull over into these charts. We're first going to check out our top three. But then we got the NZD USD and we got the US CAD too that we're going to check out. So I'm going to do a little bit breakdown on this Euro USD. Jesus, you'll throw down on that GBP USD and we'll kind of just split it up between the CAD and NZD USD. So for this Euro USD, man, last week, I want you guys to go check that out if you didn't see it. We were looking around in this channel here, and that was on a Monday. By Tuesday, I mean, the thing already ripped out of the channel, kind of hovered around the highs a bit, and then by Wednesday, we're really sitting outside of it, and we had some serious follow-through Thursday, Friday. And so, as of right now, as you guys can see, we have yet to been able to really sustain the high. And so my idea, not lots of profit potential there, but, we definitely saw that there was a case to be made that maybe we could push down onto the flats here, the 12 highs, the $1.13 flats. So there's some profit potential there. We're only around 60 points away from it. So, it's really just about what you want to do. How do you feel about it, Jesus? Is it something you want to play?
The Euro, yes. I'm looking to go short on the Euro, bring it back down to the 113s, if so. Yeah. And I see that it just broke the 23.6, which is a great idea. Yeah. And take it back down to the 50 or the 61.8.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're not asking for too much, right? I mean, we're asking for this thing to pull back down into, maybe just one or two more retracement levels. Potentially start mitigating losses around the 38.2, right? I mean, start maybe sizing, pulling stops up. Don't want to start doing it too quick, right? I mean, markets are pretty volatile right now, so things could easily go against us. But I definitely would love to maybe start pulling stops a little bit closer to break even around the 38.2 if we can get there. I don't have an entry on it as of yet. You guys will see that I do have an entry on the GBP and the CAD right now. But as of right now, we're still kind of hanging around in this Euro. I don't know, what it's going to take for me to get in, but because it's actually technically there if you think about it. Right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's funny how the markets are moving right now on a holiday. So it's pretty interesting to watch right now.
Yeah, so I mean, Tuesday officially, but today we have a CAD holiday, and I mean, no one here is at the firm, right? I mean, and even at the office down in Buckhead, nobody was there either. So, everyone seems to be kind of chilling out for the, 4-day weekend. So let's pull over. Aussie, no real buy signal on Aussie. Hey, Zeus, what you got about the Aussie?
Aussie's always been playing games with us throughout the whole year. So it got back up to the 76, which is a place that last time I predicted it to go down, which it did. But who knows? I don't know what could happen. It could break the high, or it can go another way for another sell. So just no entry yet. Yeah, but the structure is there.
What would you want to see on a sell side move? What do you need for this thing to go sell side? Do you need to push higher, or do you need a little bit more consolidation up there in this area, and maybe you want to catch a ceiling, a break of the floor? Right now, we don't really have so much of floor. We just got one red day.
I would like to see it go a little bit higher.
Okay.
And then go back down to where it needs to go. But other than that, I feel like I'm kind of neutral on it right now.
Okay. Sweet. Sounds good. Same here. All right. So GBP USD. We're actually on this sell. Just hoping that we can catch some momentum. I guess up 270, not 276 at the moment. Was up a little bit over $300, but again, same thing. We kind of see that there were certain levels that pull over in a bit. There were certain levels that we felt like markets could come down into. This is why I like using Think or Swim. Things are a little bit cleaner. Certain levels that we thought markets could come down into. We had an explosive buy out of that zone there. And that was called last week, so again, go check that shit out. But so we were looking at some buy-side movement right there at the 27 highs, 28 flats, and we ripped, man, all the way up into the 30s. So buy-side play up into the move. I think we got there a little quick, right? So we think there could be a pullback.
There's too much liquidity there. It reached to the, what is that again? The 130s.
Yeah.
So we saw some sell-side potential there before, so we can see it again.
Yeah.
And probably push higher, or we just go day by day to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, the pound, as we know, guys, is definitely undervalued. Brexit is still weighing this thing down, but as you guys know, if we pull over in actual Brexit territory, same thing I say every week, folks. Brexit is just something that again, it's an idea, right? People assume that, trade flow, people assume capital flow is going to be hampered, but it just depends on the deal that comes out, right? So that's why they're talking about hard Brexit or soft Brexit. You guys got to think of Brexit. You guys got to think of Great Britain, the UK, and Europe as, think of it as like two spider webs that are just kind of all mixed up and mashed and all interwebbed, right? I mean, at the end of the day, to unravel that, I mean, there are so many different things economically, that kind of fluctuate based off of how they do business, So we're really just gonna have to see exactly how Brexit negotiations work out. And folks, if it works out favorable for the GBP, man, you are going to see one of the most solid pushes back up into the 40s into the 45s. You're going to see one of the most solid pushes in FX that you've seen in a long time. It just depends on what happens in terms of those negotiations. So up until then, definitely we were looking at some sell side movement down back into structure. That's what we're looking at. And the cool thing is it adds up to be a nice 61.8. So you're getting some confluence there based off of market structure. You also have some, based off of price behavior. We know how momentous price moves are oftentimes heavily retraced because we know there's a lot of short-term market participation in those moves. Not only that, we came up into a high there. So unless you think markets are going to be able to sustain this high and just push again, then, it looks good that we could push down into the 50% retracement, 61.8.
Agreed. We also have upcoming news, PMI for the euro and GBP. So we see some volatile movement for the sell side. Yeah. For those pairs.
Yeah.
We saw.
Absolutely. So if we pull over a bit, UCAD's looking nice, man. This is your play. What you got on it?
I see this pair going back up.
Yeah.
I see this pair going back to that same structure that you have right there on that line.
Yep.
It broke the low, as you mentioned in the previous breakdown. So I see a lot of liquidity there, and I see it going back down up to structure.
Right. So we're actually already sized in on this move. If you guys notice, you'd assume that we'd be in a little bit early, but we took it from another swing. Jesus actually drew this swing up right here, right? Yeah, and you kind of threw in down there. But, we were looking at this level down here. If I draw over let's see, maybe let's zone it out a bit. We're looking at this price action right here, and we were kind of noticing how, there's a ceiling there, right? And if you thought markets could be explosive and push out, well, then you gotta have yourself an early entry. You have a pretty tight spread in terms of stop to entry. And so that way, again, you have a little bit more, you can have a little bit bigger of a position on, and you have a little bit more of a risk-reward ratio that's playing out in your favor. So, man, if we can get markets up into this move here, I mean, there's our reward. And then,
that's like a 5-to-1 reward.
Yeah, so you don't get those often. I haven't gotten, something like that in a while. Aussie NZD, it was pretty close because if you look at this Aussie NZD, this was the play that we had last week. I mean, taking it back up into the high there at that 0% level, that 100% level there. I mean, that's really close. That's really close. So we were looking at the break there. Boom. I mean, you're getting something like a 4.2 to 1. Maybe a little bit better than that. So again,
I got a 2 to 1 on that one, so I didn't get too greedy on it.
Right. You took it off at the 50?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Cool. So yeah, guys, what else do we have? Do we have anything else?
As for that all NZD, I also mentioned on my Instagram for the top trader of the week that if we can see that 23.6 break on the lower time frame and then try to reach up to the high, that we can possibly see another break of the 23.6 or the bigger time frame.
Right.
And we can see that pair go up to that structure right there, then 38.2 right there.
Absolutely. Okay. It looks real good. So yeah, we were playing it down here in this range here, folks. This is that same Aussie NZD. We were playing it down here in this range. We assumed markets could go back up into the high. And at the moment, we're kind of just ranging around a bit. So yeah, if we can get some strength coming in on this, that Aussie, then yeah, we'll definitely push a little bit higher up. So let's see how these trades play out. GBP, I think GBP is going to be pretty solid. I have a lot of faith in that CAD as well. Obviously, we're going to be looking at price action and structure to determine how we're going to be mitigating losses. We don't believe in these things. We just let them do what they do, right? But other than that, folks, please let us know if you have any questions. We're excited. Let's catch up maybe later this week. We'll maybe see exactly where we are in terms of structure so we can make any money. All right, cool. Good?
Profit is my motive. Have a good one, fellas.
All right, guys. Talk to you guys soon.